everybody. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my second edition of Love Does Exist, sharing the vibes of happy, harmonious couples. And today, my guests are two dear friends of mine, Miia Maria Kuronen and Ram Alsaman. And I'm going to wait a little minute here to have them come in. So a little background for those of you who are seeing this for the first time. My intention with these couple interviews, this is the second one and there will be more, is to share the feeling of what it is like to be in a happy, harmonious relationships, because I know that I definitely needed these vibes when I was single and I was so wanting to have a partner, and I had so many ideas in my head of what a relationship could look like or should look like, but I wasn't actually around those happy couples. And when I was around them, and Miia Ram were one of those couples, that changed so much for me because I finally had a reference for what this feels like to be in that kind of emotion. And I see they are here. I think you guys need to send me a request to join my live video somewhere. I don't know if I can do that, if I can invite you actually. Oh, actually I can. And so now I am in a very happy relationship myself, and I've noticed how much I want to share this feeling. I've noticed how often do I think of my single friends. And I'm like, I wish they could feel that. I wish they could feel what I feel. And I had this idea of inviting couples into my virtual space, onto my virtual couch, to just have them be with me and share them. Hello, Stefan. Miia and Ram, you guys, I send you an invite to join my life. I hope that you can see it. I hope there you are.
Hello.
Yay!
Hey,
Hello.
let's adjust this a bit.
You just disappeared.
Adjust our camera a little bit.
Oh.
Okay.
Yay, awesome.
Woo! What the
Woo!
beautiful
I haven't seen you in so long. It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
You too.
How are you doing today?
Oh, we had a really long day.
Yeah, we drove our friends to do this
artist.
test in another city and visited the
Oh.
market, and we also just finished a 4 days fast the other day, and we're still a bit recovering from that.
Oh wow. Yeah, I
lost
saw
some
that.
weight, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
sorry?
we look a bit like this. We lost some weight.
Oh, because you did a water fast, right? I saw that on your story the other day.
Yeah, that's really beautiful but tough.
So I was just sharing with the viewers what my intention was for these interviews or for these conversations, and I want to kind of start and throw you into the cold water with one question that I really love, which I asked the first couple who was here as well, which is, I want to ask you, Ram, who is the woman who's sitting next to you?
Who was before we got a relationship?
No, just now. Who is the woman next to you?
Oh my God, where to start? Like, I literally can't define her. You know, like our relationship is so special because we do inner work all the time. So for us, like every day I see her, she's like different than the day before. So for me, it makes it really difficult to define her or put her in a box because she's ever evolving.
Mm-hmm. That is so beautiful.
Yeah, and like it feels like out of a magic. Yeah, like
And
this is actually the first relationship in my life where I feel like I'm not getting bored. Like I can live with this person for the rest of my life because she's changing so much. She's doing like a lot of inner work, and as a result, she's like constantly evolving and moving on and downloading new aspect of her and integrating new aspects. So for me, like being with her is so fascinating. I call her my queen, my princess, and we have like a children names for some parts of us. Sometimes we call each other, but it feels a little bit
Personal.
personal to share it like in public.
oh,
So
that's beautiful.
yeah.
And Mia, if I ask you who is the man next to you, what would you answer?
This man, he's definitely an old soul.
Mm.
He's a warrior at heart, but he's a love warrior, not the typical warrior. He's very passionate and dedicated when he finds something that he wants to put his energy into.
Mm.
He's someone who's committed to evolution and authenticity and truth.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I resonate.
You know what I find interesting, Ram, is you said like this is the first relationship where I don't get bored, and I can relate so much, and I think a lot of people can relate that a lot of people, I feel like in the beginning the relationship is so exciting, and then they
Yeah,
kind of
totally.
settle, and
Yeah.
then it doesn't really go anywhere, or we just assume we know our partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, I know you guys, I know like a lot of like how you work with each other and yourselves, but do you want to share a little bit of like, because you were both saying, oh, we do so much inner work. How does that affect your relationship, or why is it so important to you
Mm.
in the
Uh,
relationship?
I just felt like sharing a few words about Mia's essence because I just said like she's constantly evolving, but I see her as a person who embody a lot of power, a lot of light. She's like her essence, like whenever we go in any place, she's the one who kind of like uplift the vibes and bring harmony in the group, and her essence like her music and her singing and her artistic drawing. Like I don't know, can I show this?
It's not ready.
Okay, but you will see on her website soon, like her art is just like a pure download of an amazing energy, which I so love, and I feel like I can talk about her for hours. Yeah. And about our inner work, we do a lot of parts integration and a lot of integration, like where we get to know each other in the first gathering, if you remember, 3 or 4 years ago, 4 years ago now. So we do this like at some point, we used to do it like every day. Now we do it maybe like twice a week whenever there's like something kind of like uncomfortable.
Even
And
less, actually. Really,
yeah,
nowadays, it's less even with
yeah.
each other, at
But
least.
it
Yeah.
come a lot in during the fasting because it's also an emotional purge. But yeah, like we do it only when there's something not perfect. So whenever, sometimes we go like a week without doing any process and everything is nice and
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's interesting because we don't really, now we are more focused on creating the life we want. And when we have a blockage, that's when we do inner work.
Mhm.
And whenever one of us evolves, we kind of like, they go a bit up and then they pull the other one up, and then
Yeah.
they go up and pull the other one up. And we call each other out a lot. We really
Oh yeah.
express, like, for example, that, did you notice that you're just manipulating?
Yeah.
And then the other person, it's a challenge to take it in, but
Yeah.
we try. And
Or did you get jealous when I
yeah,
like cuddled the person?
yeah,
Oh.
or calling out victimhood, when
Oh
we
yeah.
make ourselves the victim and we are
Mhm.
actually not recognizing our creatorhood. And so we help each other by calling each other out in those moments.
Mhm.
Was this natural, like from the beginning that you did that, or how was your relationship when you just got together, or how did you meet?
Oh
Say.
my God. We will do a video about how we fall in love. We met
Uh-huh.
actually we can share how we met and we share how we fall in love in our YouTube channel. This is a video.
Okay.
But how we met was really interesting because we both came from like a big desire to make a world a better place, and we both were animal rights activists. And she was working in Berlin. I just moved to Berlin for this purpose, like to focus all my energy in helping animals and helping people to be healthy. And we met in a animal rights demonstration
On the street.
in the
Mhm.
street.
Mm.
Yeah, and we stayed friends for 1.5 years, and then something magical happened.
I think our
One,
relation. Yeah, go
so
ahead.
no, go ahead.
I think our relationship has evolved from a place of we don't do so much intentional processes anymore. It's more this day to day.
Mhm.
Did you just notice that you were manipulating? Or, oh, I
Mhm.
noticed you're triggered. It's more this kind of flowing in the day to day nowadays.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like we're both more conscious of
Yeah,
ourselves.
I think at the beginning it was more like let's do parts work together, and now it's more like we kind of like catch it on the fly, like, oh, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? And then like we both intuitive, so we can like really capture it whenever it arises in the moment.
Mm.
Does
And
it
that's
feel like work to you though? Because
uh,
one question that someone wrote to me was like, so how is this thing like working on a relationship? You know, like how much work does this actually take? Does it feel like work to you, or is it like, how would you define it? Because
that's
sometimes
a
I feel
good
like
question.
the word work
Yeah,
in itself has something like
Mm.
yeah,
difficult and hard in it.
yeah, that's a good question actually. When you ask, it felt to me when there is like a resistance, it would feel like work.
Mm.
This is how
Mm,
our subconscious is linked with the word work. So if people have resistance to look within themselves, they will see it as a work. But for us, like it's just like our normal day.
I would
mm,
say it depends where your commitment is in life.
That's
If you
also
are
another thing.
committed to evolution and awakening, it's going to be your passion and it's the best tool to
Yeah.
evolve. But
mhm,
if you're not committed to that and you're maybe committed to having a comfortable life, then it probably will feel like work.
That's so
That's
true. What was the thing that I know you want to share in your YouTube video, but you can share like maybe you can share a little about like the beginning of your relationship and what was it that made you like stay with each other? Because like one thing is to like fall in love and to like notice one another and just really start liking one another. And the other thing is like, okay, what is it that is making me stay? What is it that is making me know? Because so many people want to know, how do I know? Like, how do I know I need to stay with this person?
hmm
It just feels right in every cell of your body.
Yeah,
Mm.
Like if you don't listen to the head,
yeah.
I would talk to the people who have this question. I'm sure you know too, Feli, but
Mhm.
I would say the mind can say all kinds of things. That's what
Yeah.
my mind did because I was in another relationship when we met. So my mind went,
Mhm.
that's impossible. I can never break up from this 6 years relationship.
Yeah. And
Oh
even like,
God.
and even
Yeah.
before we get in relationship, you were like never considering like being with me, although it felt very good to spend time together.
Yeah, but the moment I stopped listening to my head and I actually listened what feels right, the answer was clear. It just feels right in every cell of my body to be with this
Mhm.
person. But that can be
Mhm.
clouded. That intuition can be clouded by beliefs, by all kinds of ideas, what your
hmm
partner should look like.
Exactly.
Mm.
We actually have a video about how to recognize your soulmate.
Mm.
This person should go and watch it. We get like a
Yeah,
really a lot of
yeah.
tips.
There's one thing I'm personally curious about. Uh, Whenever I see you, I most of the time I see you together. of course I know you're two individuals and you do different things, but I see you together very, very often, like in terms of like the same space. And I know that at least when I met you in Berlin, you were also living in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which for me, if I had to live, like, even I love my partner to death, but like, I couldn't like share the same room with them and
Yeah.
be with them 24/7. Is this really like just you? Like, do you really spend that much time that closely together? Or is it just the way that, is it my filter, like how I see you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do, I guess. But we don't always do the same activity together.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we take break between like during the day, like when we do work, like Mia do her own things and I do my own things. But actually, we live together since we fall in love. Actually,
Which is about
we
two and
raised
a
in love.
half years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, we,
Wow.
with the exception of almost 1 month, like in
yeah, when
total.
I was somewhere in a training.
Yeah,
But it's interesting because the day that we got together is the same day I moved in with him. And since then we didn't
Wow.
separate almost.
yeah, and we
Yeah.
feel we don't have like anything to hide, like or anything to like everything. It feels like everything come to me. I can share with her immediately. Like I don't need to
Mm.
even reflect on it with my own. I can just like bring it out, and she does the same.
Mm. I do think that it might not be a healing experience for everybody though. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, this is a healing experience because I felt a lot of abandonment and not being seen and loneliness in my life. And that's why it's so healing to be able to be so close to each other and feel so safe. But I
Mm-hmm.
imagine that for someone else who has maybe had someone controlling them, having a strong enmeshment trauma, maybe it would not be a healing experience to live so closely with someone else.
Yeah, that's a
Mm.
good point.
Yeah.
Can you explain the term enmeshment trauma for those who don't know what it means?
It's like giving up yourself in order to gain connection or love. And
Mm-hmm.
we often do this unconsciously in a relationship or with anybody, really, that we cross our boundaries, we don't speak our needs
Yeah.
because
Mm.
we imagine or our experience is that the other person would disconnect from us to some degree.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. A lot of compromise happen, and then resentment, and then as a result of that, people like separate or say like I'm not gonna be in this relationship anymore. So it's
Mm.
an unhealthy dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me some of what you are creating together or what you like doing together.
Hmm. Future project or current project?
Both. Whatever we want to share.
Oh God, where to start? Okay, so current project, we have our YouTube channel. We're trying to post, we used to post like one video a week, and when we're like in Tenerife in the community there. Now we post like once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So that's like our commitment to share our experience with the world. And we have another commitment to help people doing the inner work, where we do workshops and group
Mhm.
sessions. So this we do it like twice a month for a very low cost, so people anywhere around the world can join. And
Currently, we are actually working on a relationship online
oh
course.
yeah,
And there will be
Ooh.
there will be a free course on jealousy first that you can sign up for, and
Mm.
then a little bit later we will publish a actual full-length course that you can purchase.
Mm. Wow.
yeah, the jealousy course hopefully will be like ready in 1 week, 10 days. So if you want, you can go to Mia's web or my bio link, and then you can um, register your email, and then you will get notified
Mm.
as
So
soon as
the
you
Has this
link in
ever
his
been
bio
like
link is
something in your relationship that you struggled with? Like, if I may ask.
what's the question?
Has this been something that you struggled with in your relationship? Jealousy?
It has definitely come
yeah.
up. Yeah, it
I
definitely.
would believe somebody in a relationship and never experienced jealousy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even like a partnership, you know, it can come in friendship also. I have experienced like say jealousy in normal friendship. It's something in our kind of like emotional scale. It can
Mm.
occur at any kind of interaction.
But how did you, yeah?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. It's just
Okay.
clear my throat.
How did you deal with this, like in this moment? Because I know, like, for us, it's like really cute because we always like immediately notice when something's up, right? And I'm like, sometimes I can't believe like I'm jealous. I'm like, what's going on with me? And then it like gets resolved really easily. Like we just basically hug and laugh about it, and then it kind of subsides. But I know for some people it's a really big like trigger, you know, and I know some people really, really struggle with their own jealousy.
Yeah.
Was this like easy for you or whenever like that came up?
Whew. Sometimes it's easier. It really depends of the intensity, and of course trauma plays into that. So in the beginning it was more intense because the reaction is coming from that child self who is desperate and who fears and who is starving. So that reaction can be really intense. But I think nowadays it's easier for us, and we've learned to take each other's needs on board better and better, which creates a lot of safety, and it's easier to deal with it now than in the past, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to invite the people who are watching, first of all, hello. I don't know all of your names, but if you're curious about anything, you can write a question in the comments.
Oh, I see some people you know here. Tony, Maria, hello.
Hey there.
Dryan, hello. See
Do you have
Sean, welcome.
a
Pascal.
vision together? Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we do.
We
We are
have
very
vision
Now
excited.
go for it.
God.
We're very excited about it.
Yeah.
So we have these dreams. It's a while that we want to buy a land ourselves, a big land, where we can live off grid, grow our own food, create a fruit forest, and it's a high vibrational place. It's all about designing everything, the buildings, everything in a way that is in harmony with nature, that nourishes. Everybody who visits gets just pulled into that, you know, healing vibration.
Yeah. And it's not a community like based on like bypassing, because we came from like the shadow work, and we like worked a lot to like know to increase our vibration, to have this free will where we can see ourselves and see like the dark corner of ourselves. So our goal is not like creating a space where we are love and light, but no, like coming from the earth to the sky, or to this like love vibration. Because in order to be in the heart space or in the love space, or what they call high vibration, we must look at the shadows. So our intention for the community is to create it like a kind of like a down to earth spirituality, with the intention of having like our friends and potentially open for new people to come and volunteer. But first we want to create like a safe container and a stable base where we can build internal relationship among each other, where we can be like hopefully like an example, or like a blueprint where other people can come and learn and see how we did it. And this is actually one reason why we came to Ecuador, because we want to visit several communities and see how they make it. And
We're not there now.
I was gonna ask, I'm like, wait, I thought you were in Portugal.
It's so strange because I'm keeping mixing Ecuador and Portugal.
He has dyslexia, so he just mixes up words.
Okay. So yeah, we are in Portugal now, and this is one reason why, because we are visiting communities and like seeing how things function and what doesn't function. So yeah, learning a lot in this time, being here.
So basically also kind of like the thing that connected you or where you met kind of carries through to now.
Yeah, absolutely. That because that desire to help the animals relates to feeling interconnected to other
Mhm.
beings and
Yeah.
to nature and desiring harmony. And we do also wish for the community to be focused on health on all levels.
Mm.
We both love to eat raw vegan. Of course, it's not like a requirement or something, but
Mm. This is
yeah,
what
it's
worked
something
for us
we
the
really,
most and
yeah, that we
enjoy
really
it.
enjoy, and other healing modalities. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like you're like literally light up when you talk about it. It's
Yeah.
I was just thinking that I had this other question, but I've lost it. So you take the show, share whatever you want to share. It'll come back to me.
Okay. I just want to check if somebody asked me some question and you can
Mm.
share me.
Mm.
I just paused 20 minutes ago about questions.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we shine because this is a vision that we are really excited about. I feel like it's a life mission. It's something that is calling us, and it's something that we want to build on from there on. The moment we have the land, it's going to be for the rest of our lives something that we're going to be building on. And we have a lot of ideas, and also about schooling or unschooling, and all the way to natural birth. I don't know, like we have all kinds of ideas about how to go back to nature, how to go back to reconnecting with our inner knowing and the harmony, going back to that state.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of our mission is also to share about relationship because I think a lot of the loneliness is happening in the world. Like why people are choosing to live in a city in a miserable lockdown with all this crazy things that's happening because they didn't figure out how relationship works. Like when I look at my friends, most of them they don't know how to make relationship. Like they always like they come to a clash or a conflict and always resolve and like a separate. So people don't have the trust that relationship can work. And I feel part of our mission is to help people to find resolution in relationship and make it work if it's compatible, of course.
Or the relationships they have are superficial. This is the most common thing, that people don't feel truly close to others. They don't feel intimate enough to trust and to really co-create something, or to be interdependent with others.
Yeah.
A question just came in that's really interesting. It's do you think that a relationship can work long term if there are absolutely no interests that both persons share? Thank you for that question.
I think it depends what they both want from a relationship.
Yeah.
If it works on the practical level, like, yeah, we both want to live in the same city and we're both happy doing our own thing, and then we
Enjoy
have
sex.
sex, and then we maybe eat together. Sure, if that's what you want from a relationship, that's okay. But if you want an intimate relationship, maybe it's more difficult, because then there is no quality time. You don't get to know each other. You don't get to share as much.
Yeah.
So I do think that if you want a truly close relationship, it's important to have common interest as well, especially values, to share values.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a very interesting question. And I was thinking of myself because my partner and I do have like very different hobbies. But then what we have is like an openness to join into the other one's activities. So like he's probably not gonna become the most passionate dancer like me, you know, and I'm probably not gonna become the most passionate climber that he is. But like what was important for me also was that we have this openness, both of us, to not just say, oh yeah, the hell with it, I don't care, like you do your thing, like, and then we never see each other. You know? Yeah.
I think what's more important than the interest is the values. Like if you share the values, the interest is secondary. Like if you both value authenticity, if you both value like non-harm, or if you both, I think the value is way more important than the interest. because you can create any other interest based on the values you have.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I
You
can see
were,
how in your case, Betty, that you can really catalyze each other's growth and take each other
Mhm.
out of your comfort zones
Oh, we
with
do
that.
that.
Yeah, I think it's great actually to have some like a lot of like we do have a lot of differences actually as well, even though we share a lot. Yeah.
Mm. One question that came to me was, did you have, before you both met and before you got together, any reference to all these beautiful feelings and experiences that you're making in the relationship now? Did you ever have any idea of it could be like this?
Hmm. Good question. For me, yes. I had like glimpses of how it would feel to be in
Mm-hmm.
like a fully loving relationship. Yeah.
Me, not fully, because I didn't know what I was missing. I had
Mm-hmm.
this feeling of something's not there. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel needy and I feel pain and I don't know what's missing.
Mm-hmm.
However, I started getting glimpses of that when we were friends, because we were friends for more than a year before we got together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because that's one of my intentions here is to like share this with people, because I know for me that totally changed the game when I saw you guys, and then at the same time another couple in my friendship circle emerged that they were really beautiful, and then I was in this Airbnb surrounded by this beautiful harmonious couple vibes. And I was like, oh, like this really exists, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
That totally makes sense because usually our idea of relationship is based what we saw from our parents. So we need to
mhm,
see the opposite, like, oh wow, relationship can look like that too. And that kind of
mhm,
like give you a glimpse. And sometimes like you can be in relationship with somebody that feels like, wow, but this relationship doesn't work. And that will still give you kind of like an upgrade.
Mm.
Like, oh, now I know what love is. The previous relationship was abusive.
Mm.
And then you will never
mhm,
go back to the relationship that was before.
Mm.
So I
mhm,
believe every relationship you go to, even if it was not perfect, it gave you something to know, wow, this feels so good and this didn't work. So I see that if we really did the inner work, we will not go to like a worse relationship.
Backwards
Yeah, I
anymore.
don't see this can happen easily.
mhm. Yeah. Um, so the answer to the question, she says, I like the idea of values. I think it's very true. Reminds me of the 5 love languages. Do you speak the same love language? Love languages?
Ah, touch.
Yes. Yeah.
Touch.
Oh,
Important.
yeah,
And for me,
before.
quality time.
Yeah.
Touch and
Mhm.
quality time.
That's so
And for
beautiful.
me, service.
Acts
What's
of
it say?
service.
Act of service, yeah.
Mm.
Mhm. I think this is like the concept of the 5 love languages for me. It wasn't like a surprise, but some of it was like a revelation to me when
Mhm.
I learned about it. Because, for
What's yours?
example, my top 2 are touch and words of affirmation.
Mm.
And like, for example, I had one relationship where my partner was currently like constantly telling me I'm fishing for compliments.
Oh.
And because when I like someone or I
Mm.
like what they do or what they look like, whatever, I tell them,
Aha.
and I was desiring to get the same.
Mm.
And when I
Aha.
was mentioning that, he was just like, oh, you're just fishing for compliments. If I tell you all these things, you're going to become too arrogant. Well, obviously, this was a very unhealthy relationship anyway, but when I learned about this, I'm like, oh, like this actually makes sense. Like I give compliments to random strangers if I feel like it.
Mm.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I think this is so important to know about the other, what we each need.
Mhm. Yeah, to speak or understand at least the other person language, love language.
And to ask for what we need as well, to not just be in the state of, oh, I feel like I haven't received in a long time, and maybe the other person thinks I've been given so much.
Yeah,
So to
while the other person
express,
doesn't
like,
see it as a something that's
yeah,
worth.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know you've been doing like a lot of workshops also to help people connect with their soulmates or their soul, not just partner, but soul family in a way of like deep friendships and intimate connections. Have you seen a theme in things that come up in the people?
Mhm.
I would say the biggest overarching theme is, it's a very generic one that I'm going to say, but it's a form of hiding parts of ourselves that block us from finding those people.
Yeah.
It's that we are trying to adapt to the standards of the people around us or to society or our family. And meanwhile, we're actually hiding our most truest, authentic selves. So
That,
our soul
yeah,
family cannot even recognize us.
yeah. This, I think this is the biggest one. In not only the soulmate and the soul family session, but also in other workshop that we have done in private session as well. Like, and it always bring like wow. And then we do something I really love. Like we bring like the mirror and we ask the person to show this in the workshop and get reflection from the other. It can be scary, but like all the time it resulted in amazing healing experience where they see like, wow, I'm accepted. Even this horrible thing about me is I've been scared of showing it my whole life. They get positive mirroring and then like, and it's so beautiful. And I like believe if your watcher would like try to do it like in a safe environment, like to share what they're ashamed of or what they think wrong about themselves, they will be surprised because the people you're living with now are not your family most of the time. So something I would like encourage you if you feel safe with somebody to open up and share. Like this is we did this time at the beginning of our relationship, like we shared what's like our fear and what's our what we are ashamed of. Like we intentionally did some of those exercises.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't know what to say anymore. This was the point when I knew who I wanted to marry.
Wow.
That not being afraid of sharing, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to, Wasmir.
Was mir.
Was mir gut tut. This in German means what is good for me.
Ah, I see.
Are you actually able to hide things from one another?
To what? To
To
hide.
hide?
You heard from me.
Uh, I think we don't do it intentionally. It's not intentional. But I think, yeah, sometimes we suppress something. But quite often the other person notices that something's not okay.
That's a disadvantage to live with psychic.
We feel each other quite strongly, so we notice when there is something, like something that is not spoken or expressed. We call it out.
Yeah.
I remember at the beginning we like kind of there was some small things that we felt like it might not be acceptable. It's the same like what we shared just before, like being weak or thinking that you're clumsy or like those small things that like we've been kind of like not accepted, like all this quality that was not accepted in us or sensitive. Like for me, one sensitivity was one of the things that I was suppressing, and many men I think can relate to that, like being sensitive, like crying, for example. I would, yeah, like not bring it so often because I don't want to look weak, for example. That's one thing. I was not bringing it as much as, but then it was like very healing to see that she can hold me and hold space. Yeah. And then I feel like we are at the point that we don't necessarily have anything to hide.
Yeah, I think there really isn't anything that we consciously hide. It's really more, you know, how we all have parts that we're not aware of. And that happens sometimes, that there is something, and then we need to kind of intentionally go and access it. What is it that I'm feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Do you always do that directly with each other, or do you just, like, for example, me, I journal. Sometimes it helps me a lot.
I do that too. I do sometimes, quite often actually, like if Ram is working, I don't go and interrupt him like, hey, do a process with me. I might go into it myself, because at this point I'm able to, I can journal and feel into my own parts, or have an emotional expression, or ask someone else who is around to support me. It doesn't have to be Ram, or it doesn't have to be me always
I
going
think this is
into
an
it.
important point for anybody in relationship, to outsource, like not leave all the responsibility of like the healing journey in your partner, but have friends and support circle where,
A therapist.
or therapist even. I would recommend anybody who lived the trauma of birth to go to therapist. Like, it's so big, guys. And we're still recovering from like how traumatic and even if the childhood was not traumatic at all, just like the experience of birth or the experience of not having enough
Socialization.
presence is by itself is traumatic. So
Schooling.
yeah, so it
Yeah.
helps to have like somebody who have your back and you can come to them whenever you need it. It's very important. And for us, like,
Yeah.
we're fortunate to have like our community and support network where we have like multiple people. Like, if something trigger us, I can reach to many friends, and all of them would like to help me, and all of them do the same work. So we're very
Yeah.
fortunate with that. But for people who don't have that, it's good to have like a therapist or a facilitator, emotional healing facilitator.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think that's so true, so important to say, like to normalize that as well. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with anyone that seeks, out a coach or a healer or a therapist or
Yeah.
whatever. Actually, it's quite the opposite, right? It's like there's
Exactly.
everything
It's
right with you if you
brave.
do that.
It's brave, and it shows that you are actually committed to your in like a healing journey. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough or anything. It's very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got an answer. She said about the person she was supposed to marry. When I was accepted and still accepted while showing my true me, including mistakes and fears, accepted and loved, I didn't have to play a role, but just be honest and just be me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, exactly.
With
And then
your
we
vision of what you are creating, what are you, because I can see like there's this vision, but there's even like a bigger vision of what you're probably hoping to um like a wave that you're hoping to set in motion. Like what do you think will change when people come into your space or when people live happier relationships?
I think it's the name of our YouTube channel is New Earthlings.
Mm-hmm.
And we love this vibration and this way of living to be available for everybody. And yeah, I believe that more and more people hop on in this vibes that will create like a ripple effect in society. Like, I came from a society that's not healthy, and then I thought, well, if I move out of my country, then I will find like happy people. And I went to Germany, and I was exactly disappointed with what I saw. Like, it's not true. Actually, people are not happier, not at all. Even like less happy than where I came from. And then I went to like traveling in many countries, and the same thing, like relationship and loneliness, and when you have so many people around you, is one of the biggest thing. And I think we still have, as a collective consciousness of human, we still have a long way to go. And I also see like what's happening around us, like all this madness that's happening is lack of trust in our fellow human beings, and having big
And
percentage of people,
ourselves.
yeah, and ourselves and others, and having like people are acting out of fear, out of greed, out of, and that's like the what's holding humanity back. Although there's so many enlightened beings who are spreading similar message to us.
I think maybe it sounds even cheesy. Like for me, what comes to me is just the vision is about reconnecting humanity to themselves, to the creation of everything, what is around us, to remind us that we are all part of the same, about unity, and to become closer to source, to raise our vibration, to move from fear to love. That's really the essence of it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. If your relationship was a fruit, Miia, what fruit would it be?
Mango.
I know you would say that.
A yellow, big, juicy mango.
Ooh, I love it. And Ram, if you had to pick a vegetable, which vegetable would it be?
Let me see. It's crazy. I get purple broccoli. Have you seen it before?
No?
I just bought one today. I literally never heard of this before. And the first time I saw it, it's purple broccoli. I can send you a picture later, but
Ooh.
it's so amazing.
And it's not like genetically modified or
No,
anything?
no, anything.
It's
No,
organic.
it's organic from a local farmer, and he said when he plants seeds, some of them get cross-pollinated with other plants. I think with the purple cornflower, and they get like this color because they're cross-pollinated. And it's nearly impossible to take the seed. Like even if you take the seed of the purple broccoli, it will not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that I didn't ask that maybe you were expecting I would ask or I would still like to share now, like intuitively?
I love your question. I didn't prepare anything actually, so not.
I didn't expect anything, I think. I was just jumping in, happy to see you, happy to be here.
Or anyone who is here who hasn't asked the question they've been wanting to ask, now is the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe I can share a message to the viewers.
Maybe you can channel something.
Okay. Channeling a message for the viewers. That they exist. That your soul family exists. It's not a myth. And it's not one person. It's a group of people who are sprinkled everywhere. And you even share something. You knew each other from before coming here on this planet. And you are meant to connect. You are meant to, maybe not with each of them, but you are meant to find connection that is satisfying, because that's part of the healing journey. So if you trust the process and you seek inner harmony and connection, authenticity, you will find them, recognize them.
That's amazing. Thank you. I think this will be the closing statement. I won't ask anything else. Thank you guys for coming in and for sharing. yeah, for everyone who's watched, thank you for being here. If any questions came up, let us know or let the both of them know. And also look at their YouTube channel, the new Earthlings. They do make amazing videos and they host amazing workshops as well. And also, I interviewed each of them individually last year, and they were two of my favorite videos. They're on my channel. Now, what's the name of my channel? I forgot. Spiritual Underdog. I have to change the name again. um, so you can look at that as well.
Mhm.
And yes, your soul family does exist. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.